everyone, my name's Danielle from Cageless Readings. So today's pick a card is going to be what do you need to hear today. I don't think this will be too long of a reading just because it is just what you need to hear today. So we do just have 3 piles to choose from, and I did already pull all the cards for each pile. Pile 1 is this Saturn card where it says structure on it. Pile 2 is this 8th house and it says mystery. Pile 3 is the south node and it says past. Okay, so if you would like to get a little sound clearing before you choose your pile, I'll do that now. If you're already feeling good and just like you don't need it, then go ahead and skip to your pile section. But I'll do this now for anyone who would like it. All right, I'll see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile 1. So you all chose the Saturn, which was the structure card. I actually think this card looks super cool. I don't know. I mean, it could look like something that should be caged, but to me, it actually looks like it's something building something, like getting organized. That's the energy I get off this card. Organization, creating almost like a routine or a template, and then seeing everything unfold beautifully without much effort. So I don't know, maybe that's something you're needing to hear today because that's just such a strong vibe I'm getting from this card. So we will start by putting that one there. And then let's look at your other cards. So we also have Uranus, and it says change. I don't want to put it over here, funny enough. And then we have solar flares activation, super neat. I don't know about you all, but all I can see here is sort of like all the chakra systems coming up. So interesting. And I keep wanting to say like the rainbow ray for some reason. So we'll put that there. And then we have your energy is valuable, protect it well. The protectress, strength, boundaries, and amulet. And then we have the past, release, rebirth, and spring. And then the words here say to remind themselves that they've outgrown their past habits. And here we have it's okay to forget and then remember all over again. Return home lessons and realizations. We have the mind, inspiration, mood, and cycles. And we also have be patient, it will come, manifestations, power, and then the numbers 1111, like the time. And then getting into the last cards here, we have many masks, the authentic self. We have overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. We have a lot of like abundance and manifestation cards coming in. And then we have lastly, whale song, resonating. Also makes me think of being on the right vibration. Seems to be definitely a theme for you. It's so interesting. I want to put it here, but I want to actually cover any card. So maybe I'll put it up here. It feels like it wants to be a featured card for some reason. Okay, I'm just going to take a second to tune in and get an idea of what's all going on for you here. Okay, pile one. So I was just looking at this solar flare card that says activate, and I couldn't stop seeing like there's all these like, call them earths for lack of better words. And then the third one has like this, to me, like this grounding effect where it's almost saying like all these solar flares that have been happening this year, as it has been a year of intense solar flares, is bringing in this intense activation energy, which I know we've all heard, but I really see it, and funny enough in this card, it's saying like use that energy to your advantage. So it's saying people's passion and emotions are heightened right now. People are feeling really moved or called to take action, create change. And they're saying use that momentum, but bring in a little bit of, I want to say like your wisdom, your earth wisdom into it as well. And what do I mean by that? I just see it as like this is like a lot of powerful sort of, for lack of better words, like higher frequencies, which are really great, but we still do have a 3D world here. So it's saying use your earth wisdom and this powerful ascension energy together, and you will find the most easily able to change or create shifts or call in the things you're wanting to call in. So if you chose this pile, your message today really seems to be encouraging you and reminding you about change coming in, about higher frequencies coming in, about getting on a different vibration, different frequency. Like just every one of these cards seems to be mentioning that. And then the two things that are interesting here, so you have structure and then you have many masks. And in the many mask card, it does talk a little bit about the reason why some of us like to have different sort of personalities or personas we take on in different situations. It's because it creates structure in our life, and we're like, okay, I'm this person when I'm in this situation, I'm this person when I'm around my coworker versus my boss, and it just works better that way. And here it's calling, I feel like, for you to break down some of those isolated structures. So it is interesting because at first glance I thought it was talking about getting more organized, but I wonder if it's actually saying letting go a bit of your organization, of that compartmentalizing. There we go. Compartmentalizing that you might do quite a bit of. And kind of being a certain way around certain people. I just keep seeing like change, momentum, changing how you are in the world, bringing in this energy. You even have protectress, so it's saying you're really safe. Your energy is protected right now. Time for manifestations, inspiration, your mood and cycles, affecting your sort of abundance right now for the better. So whatever's going on whenever you're watching this video is you have a lot of energy backing you up right now. If you've been feeling stagnant or stuck, previously in the last few weeks, I don't see this being where you are today. You are really in a state of flow, activation, change, calling in, like overflow of plenty. Like that card really speaks for itself, just in its own right. Like just having so much energy, so much things working on your side that it's just like dripping off of you. There's so much excess. So it's really saying today, utilize this momentum behind you to call in what you're wanting, to change what you're wanting. Because this, like I said, this solar flare card, which wanted to be in the center with this whale card and resonating, talks so much about using this solar flare, this ascension energy, this higher frequency coming into the earth realm right now, whenever you're seeing this, very, very strongly, and using it with your earthly wisdom, your learned lessons on the 3D realm. And for some of you, I feel like you're going to be like, well, it's actually a 4D world now, not a 3D world. Well, awesome. Still apply that 4D from this high energy, because this is like coming from like the highest source is how I see it, coming down to wherever Earth is when you're seeing this. Super cool. And whenever I do see all these like rainbow colors coming in, I see so much healing and change. And it doesn't mean it's about to come in, it means it is coming in now. So that's also a really cool confirmation to see. And then there is that reminder that it says, I listen to my soul when it tells me to let go of the past, so that I may awaken to how much I have grown. So this is a big reminder that you are different than you used to be. So when I see the mask card come up with that, and having to have put things in boxes to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself separate from different, I don't know, I feel like different personalities. I can just see like your spiritual friends, you aren't the same with as you are with your work friends, and you might just kind of be more agreeable with your work friends on whatever they're talking about. But I just keep seeing like the past is no longer going to continue being the same way, and I feel like you're a more confident person now, you're more grounded and rooted in yourself, and it just says so much growth, so much growth. You've cried your tears, you've opened your third eye, you've learned to use your voice, and you've really grown this new self-love. So that's really cool to see. You have a lot of like really great cards behind you. So sometimes I feel like I have to say that, because I know if we have a fear, if I say one thing that might allude to triggering that fear, whoever's watching this pick-a card pile will just take that sentence I've said and jump with it. This card reading is a very positive card reading, extremely positive. So I'm saying that in case there's any confusion, or if you're worried or fearful of something, this is saying good things only. Great things coming your way. Remember to let go of some of these rigid old structures or routines in your life or ways of being. Remember you have grown so much, and also realize that if you've been, like, I can just already tell for this pile, you've been told that you're going to have a lot of energy working with you today for the next little bits. I'm not the first person. You've been getting little signs of that, and that change is coming in, and it's currently happening. This is just another confirmation for you. It's interesting. It's like you can always tell when energy's new or when energy is repeating, and it's saying this message had repeated to you again and again. So trust it, believe it, own it, and go with it. Use it to your benefit. It's here for you. It's here for you to take advantage of. Manifestations and power, 1111. And I would assume every time you've seen 1111, and I know it can feel like, does it really mean anything? Everyone's always saying 1111. It means your wishes are currently being granted. So that is a great confirmation. If you see it all the time, don't get sad about it or start to feel like it's not as relevant. It actually just means you're staying on that frequency. You're resonating with the frequency of abundance. That's super cool. And I just do also want to talk a little bit about this whale card, and it says resonating. I just feel like this whale is living its dream in this bubble. And it's funny because I just feel like it's saying like no one else is vibes, frequencies, even people's maybe angry music. That's important for someone here. I feel like you have a coworker maybe blasts some like really angry sounding music and you just are like, oh, I don't like it. But I see this whale's like, no, it doesn't bother me. I'm good. I'm in my own vibe. And there's even sound notes around this bubble of water. Literally everything stays out and you stay in your own beautiful, high vibrational, cleansing, purifying energy. It's super cool. And the whale song just makes me think that maybe you've been humming or singing to clear your energy. Maybe you've been doing like a chakra course where they're teaching you how to clear your chakras with your own vocals. If not, that could be a cool thing to look into. Maybe even YouTube has an answer for you. It just seems whenever I see whales, I think of songs and singing and communications through vibrations and sounds. So super cool. Let's see, anything else to mention to you? I think this might be it. It's just short and sweet and it's very direct. I can feel like this pile's like, are you sure? Are you sure that's it? I'm not sure I got my exact answer. And it's like, everything's working out for you right now. Take advantage of that energy behind you. It's like, if you're into astrology, something is going on in your charts and the planets, something that basically makes you have like a horseshoe up your ass. You seem really lucky right now. And you've got a lot of momentum behind you for change. So I just feel like you are gonna see some really cool things this coming week, this coming day in itself. Just so much going on. So before you go, if you'd like to receive it, I'll do another sound clearing for you. They're about a minute and a half. And you can just set the intention for yourself or whatever you're wanting to release, doubt, fear, uncertainty. Maybe you're just wanting to call in something. You go ahead and set your intention, and just may it be so, all in your highest good and love and light. All right. I just want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching this channel. And if it did in any ways resonate or if you enjoyed it, I so appreciate it when you leave a like or a comment. It just really helps the video you leave a like or a comment on get more views. So I so appreciate that. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the abundance. Hello, Pile 2. So you all chose the 8th house and it says mystery. So I will put this in the center, I think. And let's see the other cards by that same deck. So we have Capricorn, Achieve. And we have 4th house, Home. And apparently the Empty Well wants to come out next, as well as Closing Doors. It's funny, I feel like I'm making a container for this reading here. Okay, and then we have in the hand, the universe is your partner. And then we have sweet oblivion, uncertainty, fate, and humor. And then on the cup it says, it's okay, I don't know what I'm doing either. And then you also got another coffee cup and it says, I wasn't always like this, you know, I had to create who I am. And it says the witch. Lotus flower, free will. Interesting, you have a lot of 40s on your cards, by the way, too. You just have 42, 46, 41, 40. 14. Just a lot of fours. Flower child, momentum, creativity, and action. And then we have number 1 here. There is a reason you have those dreams, the mystic, intuition, high priestess, and visionary. Put that one up here. If it will stay. Maybe it doesn't want to stay there. We have magic mushroom, miracles, fairy energy, and opening up. This is a cute card. Stay open to the good and beautiful things. I like that. Okay, hang on here. Let's get this card standing up. I feel like it wanted to go here, so I don't understand. There we go. Kind of sideways. All right. I'm just going to take a second to tune in a little bit deeper here and see what is going on for you today and what your message is. Okay, pile 2. So it's really interesting because your 3 like astrological oracle cards here all talk about being integrity with yourself and setting firm boundaries with other people in your life. And then when I see these closing doors, completion, and time to replenish, like I feel like it's telling me you have started this process, but very specifically, you haven't set firm boundaries yet with someone in your home. I don't know if this is a partner, a child, a sibling, a roommate. It could be a roommate actually, but it's saying like you've started to set boundaries with everyone else and now it's time to kind of get to this last person. I think it's going to be the hardest person for you to create a firm boundary with, but it's really like all like this top row of cards are all saying it is time for you to have a safe place at home that feels like a sanctuary where you can recharge, where you can be yourself. Like it's so much here with this 4th house home card. Like it's all saying like right now you're not in a place where you can go home and like feel like you can connect to your guides or the universe or to your inspiration. It's kind of a gross feeling place, a place where it's just like a boundary breaker lives there. That's all I want to say. Like they feel like they manipulate your words. They kind of use them against you. They kind of make you do things to earn things there that don't really seem fair to me as the outsider. And I feel like it is the hardest person, but that's why I keep saying with this Capricorn card, it's like saying it's time for you to be real with yourself. Be in, what was the word it gave me? Be in, no, not a third, integrity. That was the word they said. Be in integrity with yourself and what you want and what you deserve and take action on it. And it does say achieve. So I do feel like it's saying you will be successful. It's just emotionally very challenging for you. One, because it's just like an exhausting situation, but there's also just like some fear, some pain, some hurt. It's a really big person in your life to have to set this boundary with. But it'll also be the most rewarding person to set this boundary with. That's very clear to me. And I almost even see like once you do this, it's like saying then you'll be able to get the replenishment, the energy back that you've been desperately wanting. And this, like, they keep talking, like, here you have like mystic, intuition, high priestess, and visionary. And then over here, where was it? The witch card, um, the magic mushroom card, the universe is your partner, sweet oblivion, momentum, creativity. I feel like there's just so many cards talking about like your dream time and your connection to, I don't know if you want to say meditation or just connection to your guides in general, will be stronger, because how can you go into a state of meditation and connect with your guides if you are stressed out, if you feel unsafe in your environment, if you're constantly kind of being pestered in your environment? There's just so much going on here. And I think the other thing too is I keep seeing this as a dream card. I wonder if even in your dreams it has been trying to warn you, and work out the situation. So if you have a lot of really heavy dreams or kind of like scary dreams, I feel like it's your mind trying to like ease in the emotional tension or fear behind getting this person out of your life. I think it's playing it through so that's not quite as hard when you're doing it in person. And it also makes your mind think on some level it has done this before with this person, because I think you're dreaming of it a bunch. Yeah, it's so interesting. And I'm just seeing this in the hand, the universe is your partner. I feel like there is this fear of being alone. So I do think maybe it is a romantic partner or parent, where it's just saying like you have this fear of like, can you do it without them? Can you make it by financially? What if like something breaks? Like you just don't always know what to do in that situation. And I just keep seeing like, that's all an illusion. Like you've got this. You've got YouTube, the how to on YouTube. You've got friends. You're just a likable person. And I think the unfortunate part is when we're in these sort of boundary breaker relationships, as I refer to them, they usually make us feel blinded, and they make us undermine our own value and how much people appreciate us. So I just even feel like this is what's making me feel a little stuck, but everything else is saying so much rest. Look at that. They're jacuzziing in a coffee, like just doing their witchy things. I feel like you want to have a bath with rose petals and like, I don't know, like hollyhocks, and put some cloves in, and you want to make like a bit of like a witch's cleanser in a bathtub, and you don't want to be judged by someone, and you want to be given the time to do it. And I feel like you want to journal at the same time, and just really explore your spiritual side, your deeper inner self. Like, I feel like you're such a spiritual person. I mean, everyone is, but you're so drawn to it. You're so called to it. And I just feel like for some reason, and I'm sure you know why, this relationship, this dynamic in your home has kept you from going into this deep, blissful state. Yeah, it's interesting you have two skulls too. I didn't realize that. You have a skull in this, and it kind of talks about cycles here, and the mystic, intuition, high priestess, visionary. And I even see it's like you're starting to realize you've gone in a cycle with this person, or in circles with this person, might be a word that resonates more with this pile. And yeah, also the very like the card you chose for this pile, which is crazy because when I did see this card come out, I was debating between this one or the fourth house to put on top for the pile selection, but I was like, the skull is important for this pile, so I have to put the skull as the choice selection, because it's going to call to the people who need to see this pile. And I really feel like, honestly, the metaphor for this is it's just feeling like for you that you're being drained. You're being drained by this person, and if you don't change or transform or grow through this and set boundaries, get this person out of your life, I would say ideally out of your life, but maybe just even starting with very firm boundaries. I mean, it always depends on your relationship with this person. You know best. This is just a general card reading, but it does feel pretty clear that It feels like it's going to bring back a lot of life into you. There's so many messages around that, like just being able to finally close the door on it, replenish. And when I see the empty well card come through, it usually means you've been in depletion for years. It's not usually a card that comes up when you've just been feeling tired for like a week, a day, a month. It's like deep exhaustion from usually whatever situation you're in. So I think it would be accommodating this person or accommodating people with the same personality type as this person. So it's interesting. Maybe today is the day for you. If you're watching this and this message is directed for what do you need to hear today, is maybe you're going to go home, or maybe you're waking up and you already are home. I don't know. I feel like you're at work watching this video. I mean, I don't know for sure. And I feel like you're feeling motivated. Yeah, feeling motivated to start taking action, to closing this last chapter. I really do feel like it's your last person with this kind of destructive relationship. And that's why you got all your practice with the easier ones. And now you've got the hardest one at the end. Now you've got some practice. So I wish you the best of luck here. I don't have anything else for you. These readings have been pretty clear and direct. And it's funny, everyone's energy as I'm like tuning in at the end of these card readings feels a little scared. Like, no, give me a different answer, give me an easier answer. And I'm just like, I can't. All these readings seem to be about growth. Like, you've got this. It's going to be a great reward, because for how heavy and scared you feel right now, you will feel blissfully the opposite later. So that being said, I can leave you with a little sound clearing, and you set the intention of releasing whatever it is you want. You can try to release some of the fear, anxiety, worry, self-doubt, or you can call in something as well. You set the intention, and I just hold the space that it's all in your highest good and love and light right now. And you can pause this if you need a second to think about it, or you can listen to it multiple times. You know, there's no limit here. So I'm just going to do it now. And just a second time for good luck. Okay, I feel like just before I let you go, I wanted to leave you on the words of this card. Stay open to the good and beautiful things in life. Miracles, fairy energy, and opening up. Best of luck today. Just remember, the hardest things come with the greatest rewards. Hello, Pile 3. So, funny enough, you chose the South Node, which is number 33. That's 3 threes for this pile. All right, I think I'm going to put this card in the middle. bottom middle apparently. And we also have here Ascendant and Entrance. Interesting. Two very different energies, I feel, coming off of these. Okay, and then we have Deep Diver, diving into a task. We have Heart, Home, Compassion. We have Jeweled Web, Connectivity. Then we have Liberation, Just Let Me Be, Free Spirit, Wild, Authentic. We have Truth, Honor, Impress, and Integrity. Some duality vibes there. We have Dark Night of the Soul, Transformation, Awakening, and Tower. So usually means at a big spot today where it feels like usually a lot of chaos, but something is changing or on its way to change. So it's like one of those interesting cards I find when I get that. Breaking into bloom, time, liberation, understanding. Sometimes you will break before you bloom. Interesting. Whew, something tells me you guys are having a rough time lately. And then the last card here is growing pains, healing, patience, and unconsciousness. Yes, definitely getting some confirmations here that you're just going through some hard times. And when I mean hard times, I feel like this is all stemming from emotional hard times. You might have some physical ailments, but I feel like the real thing that is bothering the majority of this pile is like maybe stress, depression, feeling like you are at rock bottom. Because as soon as I read Dark Night of the Soul, I just feel like I heard people go, I know, I've hit rock bottom. It can't go any lower. Things can't get any harder. Just going through some tricky stuff. And then ironically, I felt like there's just so much heart healing energy here. And I did kind of choose these cards as like the center of the reading and what's happening around this theme for you. So it's interesting that it is talking about heart healing, feeling over here like there's just shit keeps finding you in the world, lack of better words, and then growing pains and truth. This is kind of talking about, funny enough, I feel like you're even torn with this, is that you're like, well, I know that it's because I'm waking up. I know because I'm changing. I know it's because I'm learning. But then the side's like, shit sucks. This shit is hard. And it's so funny. I feel like on this side, I just want to swear all day and be like, I hate this. And then the side is like trying to be like bittersweet about how it will all come out better in the long run. And it's just like the optimist. I almost feel like there's two parts of this reading where it's like you're split, where you have like this optimistic perspective and then you have these deep lows that I don't know if I'd say feel pessimistic, but just feel like, you know what, I can't lie, I feel horrible. I feel like everything's going wrong, and it does just feel like emotional stress to the extreme, which would make you feel tired, which would make you feel low energy, which would make you feel like there isn't enough time in the day or time in the world, all those kind of emotions. Especially when I, funny enough, see time and liberation, I see it as one word, not as different words. So I do just feel like that is such a thing for you, feeling like there isn't enough time. So I'm just going to take a second to tune into what these middle cards are talking about. Since I feel like this side's very chatty, we'll just give it a second here for me to see what's going on. Okay, pile 3. So sometimes when I'm just not getting anything off of a card, I usually feel like I have to read what's in the guidebook to you, because it usually means that your guides prefer the verbiage that's in the Oracle card deck. They feel like it's perfect for what you need to hear. So I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to read these two middle cards to you. just because I think that's what they want me to do. So what do you need to hear today? We're going to first look at the ascendant. And it says the ascendant tells a story about how you walked into this life at your birth and how you walk into any new situation. It describes the door through which you see the world and the world sees you. So that's pretty clear. It's talking about how I feel like some of you are going to zone out when I'm reading this, so I might repeat myself just to make sure you're still listening. So it is saying this is a card that speaks about how people see you and how you see the world. That's what the ascendant is talking about. The ascendant, also known as the rising sign, describes the degree of the zodiac just coming up over the eastern horizon at the moment and place of your birth. So it's also your rising sign. So you've probably heard of that. The most common one is the sun sign. Then there's your rising sign. And then there's also your moon sign. So those are the three ones a lot of people refer to. So you might want to look it up if you don't know it. Could be fun for you to read through what it is and see if it resonates with you. But anyways, that's not the purpose of this. We're going to keep talking about your ascendant, which is also known as the rising sign. And it says, how do you see the world? Take a look at the assumptions and presumptions through which you filter your experience of reality. Really look at how your privilege, trauma, or certain attributes of your history can distort the reality of the moment. So it's really calling on you to see how you've perceived and assumed things are in the world, probably because of how your family sees it. So if you came from a Christian upbringing, came from a non-religious upbringing, if you came from a broken family, if you came from poverty or from money, like just know what some of the things you've assumed about the world. And it's not saying judge yourself for it, just kind of reflect on what it is. And then it says, do what you can to dismantle those obstructions so you can see the whole view. Open that aperture. So it's talking about here, when this card's coming out, is that something in the way you were raised, whether it was through some good lessons and some bad lessons, it gave you a perspective that you're seeing not a whole situation from we'll say like a neutral third party, if that makes sense. And it's asking you, it's saying you're not doing anything wrong. It's just asking you to try to step out of that and see it from a third party perspective. It is the hardest thing to do, so don't beat yourself up if you're like, what does that even mean? It's just usually like seeing a situation that bothers you or a thing that bothers you and asking, what does that person think, knowing what you think, and then being able to see them both at the same time. And maybe even someone else's perspective. That's what I would see from seeing it from a third party neutral perspective. So it's asking you to do that. And then the next step is, conversely, look carefully at the signals you send off. Do they match your intent? Do you say you're fine when you really need a hug? Are you trained to sound modest or apologetic when really you know what you're doing? Do you act like you know what you're doing when you don't? Notice what you project onto the world and take responsibility for how you are seen. The ascendant is where you become visible. If this makes you nervous, investigate what needs to be healed or where you need to grow your confidence in order to feel comfortable being seen. So interesting. There's another pile that was kind of talking about wearing masks in certain situations because it was more acceptable to show that mask or that persona to that person. So it's interesting that this card is also sort of alluding to that and where you might not be fully honest, fully honest with yourself and the people around you with what's going on. And here it says, if you're asking about a project, look for what needs to be repaired or improved before you hold a press conference. Interesting. So it says the challenges when this card comes up is the front door is only one part of the house. Be willing to look beyond appearances and into the heart, but don't count on others' ability to do so too. So it's saying you look deeper in what's actually going on within yourself, but don't get upset with other people when they're not also doing the same, because they're just emotionally not there. They're maybe mentally not there. They're just not in a place where they are choosing to do that, or in a place where they feel strong enough to do that. And then, interesting enough, it says the gift of this card is over time, your reputation is built on what you do, not how you look. So it's saying your actions and the actions you take today will change how people perceive you and value you. Because if anything, I also am such a huge advocate of this. Like, people can say all the beautiful things they want, but if they don't show up to the meetings, they don't put in the effort, they don't get the work done, then those pretty words really feel quite empty and unvaluable or invaluable. I guess that's just my perspective on it. So, and I'm sure all of you have felt that, where someone says they'll do something and they keep saying they'll do it, and they say all these beautiful compliments to you and everything maybe you're wanting to hear, and then they just keep not backing it up with the work or with the physical results. So yeah, that's really interesting. So let's read this one next. 33, South Node. So it says, the South Node describes what you bring along from past lives, your skills, addictions, weaknesses, unfinished business, and a physical place within your body where you may hold tension or ancient karmic stories. Interesting. So the South Node is all about your karmic cycles. So it's interesting that this is coming up with this card. Do you guys see the connection here? So it's saying whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're not seeing, it is a reoccurring loop, which is probably why you're so tired of it. This side of you is just like, I'm done, fuck it. I'm done with it. Tired of learning this lesson. It sucks. It feels gross. You feel not happy. I just feel stressed and gross. Like, I can't say enough words about how yucky it's feeling. So yeah, anyways, the karmic card. So what action steps it suggests for you to help get out of this situation? It says this situation has its roots in some past karmic pattern, the origins of which are not clear. You either need to apply skills that you work to heal them, or sorry, let me restart. I want this to be very clear for an action step for you. This situation has its roots in some past karmic patterns, the origins of which are not clear. You either need to apply skills that you were born with, or look again at old problems and work to heal them. The situation feels hauntingly familiar, but without a story to go with it, echoing traces from another time or life. An old love or familiar enemy may return, or the patterns involved could remind you of an earlier difficult chapter. If someone triggers your South Node, you may feel like you owe them or they owe you. And while that may be true, this accounting won't help now. Cleanly deal with what is on the table and stay in the present moment. So interesting. So it means something has happened. Probably also why this is like coming up in a what do you need to hear today? I wonder if this has happened. I think if you're watching this has probably happened the yesterday for you, or this morning for you. It feels very recent. And I feel like you're just like, damn this, how do I stop going in this circle or in this loop? And I think this is why you found this. So there's a little bit more on the action step here. It says, learn new ways to respond, new skills that help with, I just need to restart. I keep wondering if it's because this pile's kind of zoned out or gone down like a thinking vortex in their head. And then I keep stumbling over my words, and then I re-say the sentence, but then it works out because I think then you're like, oh, you're speaking, I should listen. I don't know, I just feel like that seems to be a pattern that's happening with this pile. So learn new ways to respond, new skills that help when old trauma is triggered or old cravings sing their siren song. break that spell, use breathing techniques, investigate dialectical behavior therapy, or do something unexpected just to break those patterns and give you more options here and now. Stay focused on a healthy future of your own making. Super interesting. I love this as breath work because it forces our body to calm. It forces our body to go into a different state, which would be breaking the pattern just right there, because I feel like there's probably a whole cycle you go into. So definitely, just to help you out, I'll give you a little more about what I'm seeing around what this cycle is or this pattern is. You probably already know, though, to some extent about what is going on, because it's talking about your heart. And it says compassion and connectivity. So I actually think it says the answer right there. Something is going on where you're blocked between these two things I'm going to say in relationships. I think it's in coworkers. I think it's probably in friendships, and it's probably even in partnerships. I think this is a pattern that is karmic of this lifetime. And I keep feeling like it's rooted in how you were brought up. There we go. I said it backwards. Because every time I tune into it, I'm like, no, I really feel like your family was like overly. It's so funny. I want to say overly apologetic, and I also just want to say fake. They were just fake a lot in their interactions, and they did a lot of things to make people feel better, but like undermined themselves, or they weren't always fully themselves with people. Like you never really went that deep or were that honest or that connected to people. It was more like be nice. I think that's it. I just keep seeing that being nice or proper is what I keep getting. So it's like people can be really nice, but you can know nothing about them. And yet they might know, like you might know a lot about them, but they don't know much about you because you're nice. I don't know. Maybe that's like making sense for some of you, but yeah, it feels isolating actually in some ways. So I think there's a big call to dive deeper, literally like what it's saying here, and being authentic. So you have two cards. It's funny I keep getting two cards that are really emphasizing it. And it's interesting, like part of me wants to say that for some of you, like to me in your energy, it feels so obvious, this pattern and this karmic cycle, but then it's saying it's not obvious to you. Like I feel like there's a protector part of you who is blocking off yourself from seeing it. Like it's like nope, nothing's there, it's fine, it's okay. And I feel like that's like what your protector does specifically. We all have our own protectors. They all do kind of weird, sometimes self-sabotaging things, and yours has just been put up. And I think it is because of your way you were brought up, is that I almost feel like it's protects you from feeling shameful or guilty or like you're a bad person. And so it will come in and just be like, nope, there's nothing there, it's fine. And it's like, you really have to get past that protector of yours and tell them it's safe. Thanks for doing a good job, but you're ready to see what's going on here. You don't want to keep repeating this pattern. And it's really important that you like have that conversation with them, because they're pretty good. They've got a good foundation there. They've been standing there for a long time. And you kind of need to like talk them down and make them feel comfortable, because they're kind of like ready to fight, I feel. And yeah, it's very interesting. So anyways, I really do feel like it's calling in a more authentic version of yourself with other people. And it's not that you're not authentic. I just feel like there's like there's a decent amount of you don't show to other people or aren't honest about. I think playing dumb would be like a thing for some of you. And I just like when I read the apologetic thing, I was like, oh, I think a lot of you do that in excess. So interesting. And then we already talked about these two cards here, where it really was just talking about going through a hard time, hitting rock bottom. And when I see this now and knowing what these cards were talking about, I really see it as being at the end of wanting to repeat this karmic loop. You're done with it. Screw this. All those curse words that your energy keeps saying. I can only say them so many times, I feel like, before it's just like, it just isn't like conveying that energy enough. liberating and understanding the cycles. It's time for it to be over, transforming, awakening up to what is going on, and creating change and coming out of this constant tower moment. So that's cool. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that. Tower for me, I see it more as like change making, like kind of like go into chaos to come out feeling better. Truth, honor, integrity. So finding out who you are, I think this is really what I see here, and kind of going on a soul journey. I know someone who always said that everyone has a soul river, and the rivers all look different. And for me here, when I see this card, I just see it as like you're finding your soul river, and it's going to lead you to your true center and what's actually going on. And then growing pains. That's a pretty self-explanatory card, I think. Healing, patience, unconscious. So it's really saying like this, like it came up right next to that deep diving card. Like this really is a deep, deep pattern that you are ready to get rid of. And it also in her hair, it says it's a process. So be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up if it keeps happening in smaller ways. It's just saying like bring this awareness. It is going to happen. I feel like it is going to shift naturally because you're just karmically, you're just done with repeating it. You're like wanting to move past this. You're wanting to move even, I think, into a higher frequency or a higher, I don't know, a higher place of just living. You don't want to be in this low state all the time that feels gross. So you're moving past it. Okay. So I'm going to let this pile go. I am, before we leave, going to just play another sound just so that you can set it whatever intention you want. You can ask to release something. You can call something in. I just ask that it all be done in your highest good and love and light. And if you're like, I don't know what to do, you can just pause the video, set the intention, and then listen. Okay. Okay. I wish you the best of luck with this. You're gonna break through. I just want to leave you with those words. You're gonna break through it. Just on so many levels. Everything's saying you're done with it. You're done with this pattern. You're done with this karmic cycle. You want something different. So you're gonna get out of it. Just trust that. And I hope you all just have a good day to the best of your ability. And I wish you the best of luck.